can you use Symlinks for a non-technical reason for your own computer? You're introduced to Symlinks usually in college, at least I was. It's in the university, I didn't go to a college. And I don't think the professor knew some good reason to use Symlinks in your machine. If you're using Linux, for example, or maybe Mac. I don't use Mac, I use Linux. I suppose this works in Mac too. And if I get back into Windows, after this long trip in Linux, I suppose I'm going to use their equivalent of Symlinks, which are actually pretty cool. They're called shortcuts. So here's one use case for me. Do you really think, first of all, yeah, this is the home directory. /home/Halina/code. Do you really think there is a directory called YT? I mean, it could be. There's only so much YT can mean. So maybe if I abandon YouTube and I come back to this directory years later, I'll be able to guess that YT means YouTube. Maybe I have memories, but B-tree, this is where it gets tricky. Let's say you have a long gone project for school that you did 3 years ago. You can't understand its subdirectories, especially if they're named B-tree. However, I don't have a directory called B-tree. It doesn't exist. YT doesn't exist either. They're both Symlinks, and you can see the Symlinks if you use the parent working directory command, not by default. By default it prints the parent working directory. But it has the capital P flag for dereferencing Symlinks. And this is so much better. The real directories have longer names. The Symlinks have shorter names. I believe this is a better way. This is my preferred way. There are many use cases you might have thought of, because when I first heard of Symlinks and hardlinks, I was trying to think of any way to use them and I couldn't. So I thought a big use case is, well, you have a long directory structure, directory instead of directory instead of directory, and you want to link that one closer out because it's not handy. That's not a good use case for a hardlink. I don't think Symlink. I don't think so. In general, I don't want my Symlinks to link very far. Here are some. The E command, exa is something like ls. So it's basically ls. The flags work the same for ls. And you can see lang means languages and so on. And I have an executable here. It's symlinked into local bin. That's another story though. And importantly, school subjects go by semesters. And now I can reference them relatively easily. Do I have UML here? No. Doesn't matter. The weird things here are Greeklish, because Greek doesn't have a Latin alphabet. Let's not talk about that. So whatever I want to... Here's an interesting thing. Do you know how you can use hard links on your home machine? I mean, where do you think they would be useful? For something technical, it's easy to think of a use case, right? You have this library, you have to copy it over, and you don't really want to copy it over. You have to copy it over 5 times, and it's heavy. Well, you just hard link it. And it will be exactly the same for your operating system, except the same piece of data has 2 paths. And if you delete one, it stays there. If you delete both, it disappears. If you try to move this directory elsewhere, it's a link. It's a hard link, but it's a link. No data will be copied. It wouldn't be copied anyway. If you move it to /tmp, now it will be copied. And if you move it back from /tmp, it will be copied again. So with 2 move commands, you turn it to double the data you had in the beginning. Anyway, these are technical details. Unless you make a mess. If you have symlinks of this kind, these symlinks, the reason why I don't make much of a mess is because they don't point anywhere far. And if they don't point anywhere far, they can't make a big mess. They can make one if there is too many elements. Now there is only 4, not regarding Symlinks. Back there is something like 10, which is the maximum amount before you really lose track of what's going on. And I don't mean you shouldn't have too many. I mean, can you imagine not having too many? It's something to wish for. It's something to look for. If possible, that is. Well, let's use hard links, why not? Let's do this. Let's say I want to change the directory structure of this thing. I want the semesters to go further out, and I want the rest to be considered details. But I'm scared I may remove something, I may delete something while changing things. I can back it up. And the way that I'm going to back it up is I'm going to make a directory called code backup. I'm going to give it a longer name later. I would like to be noted if something's off. Oops. Is this how you do it? Oh, the make directory command is cursed. I suppose this will do it. Let's go to code. I want for all of them, if they are directory, execute the make directory command. The make directory command should not take a P. It doesn't need a P. As find recurses deeper and deeper, it's going to call make dir again and again. From shallower paths to longer paths. Code backup, the same thing as what you found. That's it. Otherwise, if it's not a directory, if it's type file, execute hard link and hard link it back to cbackup. It's the same as a copying command, except it's not a copying command. The data won't be copied over. So long as we're talking about the same volume, not a USB and a hard drive, not an SSD and a hard drive, not one SSD and the other SSD, it's going to be hard linked. I don't know what happens if there are 2 different volumes. I suppose it throws an error. Same name. Or, oh my god, someone's calling me. I'll pretend I'm not seeing that. If the type is link, give me a moment. Let me shut them up. Alright. If the type is link, then I hope it's a relative path link. And I'm going to not copy its origin, which is what a cp command will do. I'm not going to make a symlink that points to the previous symlink. I'm not going to make a symlink that points to what the original symlink used to point to. I want, if it used to say something, I want the new link to say the same thing, like twins. So execute copy dereference, no dereference actually. And that's it. It will take a while. Have a bunch of things in there. Many hard links going on. Some directories will be made. It actually takes a while longer than I expected. Was this a good idea? I'm not duplicating anything, am I? Anyway, once it's done, we can go to the backup, we can shuffle things around, it should be safe. We can then come back to the thing. Let me stop it, I don't know what it's doing. Oh my god. I wonder how far it's come. Anyway. Let's pray. Let's play. It's great. Anyway, I don't back up such long things usually. I back up something that's at most a gigabyte. So where were we? What about a pool of links? Geo is not too bad. It's a little too good for you. I don't know if kids are watching this. So I have a similar sort of setup in the directory I was in originally. Base. Say I have a new image. It's me falling off a bike in Athens. It's called just that. Where do I put it? Well, it's funny, it's not a meme though. It does have to do with a trip. It was a trip. Is it a funny moment or not a funny moment? Well, this is a weird way to put it. Wouldn't you put directories? Wouldn't you put dates here? No. If what you care about the most is whether it's funny or not, no. Funny moments. That's where I'll put it. And here it is. Funny moments doesn't have something special, eh? Here though? Not here either. I don't remember exactly how I've done it, but these are tagged as mal jokes, memes, safe for work. This is also mal jokes though, not memes, trips, funny moments. So it is a mal joke, since I put it in there. And there is this little script I've made, refresh tags. This is mainly what it does. Now, main is called, and it does this. It's print the tags and the whole directory. So both dot tag dash whatever, and then the full path to it as well. One is taken as the directory name, because it's going to make a directory with that name inside of the tag. The other one, I strip everything after the last slash, as in that's the parent working directory. The find command will use the source directory, search inside of it, or names that don't start with a dot and their files will be hard linked, symlinked to the destination directory. The reason why I've made it this way, you give it what to do. For each tagline, this is the function, and I can try it out too. I give it printf just to see what goes into it, because things can go wrong. Anyway, refresh tags, cd tag, cd mal jokes, it is here. Fun fact, it's also considered a trip, so we find it here as well. It's a pool of symlinks. It's one layer deep, so things don't get messy, because things will get messy, especially if you try to recurse through directories and you don't know what's a symlink and what's not. Things can go wrong. And these are guaranteed to be links to files. We hope they are, and it's manageable. I hope I inspired you. I hope I showed you that you can actually use links casually. You don't have to be someone over technical. How long has it been? Anyway, I don't have a good reason to do it. If you want to view your images through an app and the app does tagging for you, I don't know how it does the tagging, but I would rather have a directory structure like that one, because then you can move this whole thing to Windows. Maybe not, right? But maybe you can. And if you can, then you got the weird names for tag-like things, and you can write some PowerShell script over on Windows to handle them, and again make a pool of, not links, it's called shortcuts. Shortcuts look very nice, man. I kind of want to try Windows at this point. I've been in Linux for quite a while. They say that shortcuts can follow the source if it moves. Anyway. So that's about it.